We will start with Rabi and Kharif crops. Rabi crops start in 1st October and last till 31st March, so they are winter crops. They are wheat, barley, gram, linseed, mustard, potatoes. Kharif crops, it starts from 1st April and goes up till 30th September. They are rice, bajra, jowar, maize, cotton, tobacco, groundnut. Kharif crops are called summer crops. Cash crops. Okay, first I will discuss core watering. Core watering is the watering that is given to a crop when the crop is a few centimeter high. जब कभी भी crop अपने आप को ज़रा दिखा देता है, whenever we get a crop in some form and shape, when the crop comes in sapling form with us, so in order to give it extra strength, core watering is done. So core watering की definition. Cash crops की definition क्या है? Crop that cannot be consumed directly is called cash crops. They have to be processed first, like jute, tea, cotton, tobacco, sugar cane. Example भी दिया है, plants हैं, ये tea plants हैं. So the tea plants are taken and then taken to factories and then the tea leaves are prepared in dry form, जिससे हम चाय पीते हैं. जिस तरह जो दूसरी केस है उसमें sunflowers हैं. Sunflowers seeds are taken to factory and then they are processed to give us sunflower oil. So such crops are called cash crops. Cash crops doesn't mean foreign exchange crops or dollar crops. Cash crops means those crops that cannot be consumed directly. They have to be processed first. Tobacco भी आता है, cigarette वगैरह, ये sugar भी आता है इसमें, sugar cane. Anyways, crop rotation. When same crop is sown again and again, जब आप बार बार एक ही फसल उगाएंगे, when the same crop is grown again and again in the field, the fertility of the soil is affected because the soil becomes deficient in plant food. Soil contain minerals, and minerals are called plant food. Every crop requires a certain series of minerals for its growth. So when we grow the same crop again and again, it will keep on consuming that set of minerals from the soil. It will keep on taking that set of minerals from the soil until a stage comes when the soil becomes deficient in that particular set of minerals. So if you grow the crop again, it will be of low quality. Okay? So land should be given some rest. I mean, repeated growing of the same crop in lands is not advisable. They are not good. Land should be given rest, and either it should be given rest or another crop should be grown in the place of the first crop. This growing of another crop in the place of the first crop is called crop rotation. So crop rotation के जो cycles हैं उसमें है wheat की जगह ज्वार फिर ग्राम, rice की जगह ग्राम, cotton, wheat, gram. These are all cycles of crop rotation. Sugar cane, thadwa, wheat, fallow. I've also given picture of these crops so that you should have an idea. Gram चने को कहते हैं, right? So processed form is given. Its crop form is not given in the photograph. Jowar, you all must be knowing jowar bread. People consume it. Wheat is the common crop. Cotton, sugar cane, rice, thadwa. All the pictures are given to give you an idea of the crops given in the crop rotation cycles. Optimum utilization of irrigation water. Crop yield varies with water amount. The yield increases with water. जैसे ही आप पानी को बढ़ाते हैं आपके पास फसल भी ज़्यादा आती है. एक stage आता है when the opposite starts happening. What? The point is that when you keep on increasing water, the production falls. So a graph has been made here in which yield is shown on the y-axis. Yield का मतलब है production, and the water is shown on the x-axis. So when we increase water, this is water increase. So when we increase water, so the production increase until a point reaches. When we increase water, the production falls. So the highest point is called maximum yield point, and the water till this highest point is called optimum water depth. So the quantity of water at which the yield is maximum is called optimum water depth. Irrigation efficiencies. Certain losses happen, and to cover these losses or to capture these losses, efficiencies are given. Formulas for efficiencies are given. Water conveyance efficiency. It is the ratio of water delivered to the field at the outlet of the channel to the water entering the channel at the start point of the channel. The ratio of water delivered to the field, matlab, it is called water conveyance efficiency. We will be using these formulas in coming questions, and there I have drawn diagrams, so you will get an idea of these formulas over there. Diagram मैं यहाँ पे भी बना सकता था, लेकिन I mentioned diagrams along with the numericals. There it will be more appealing to you people. So water conveyance efficiency is the ratio of water delivered to the field divided by to the water entering the channel at the start point. मतलब whenever, suppose you have got a channel, so at the start point a amount of water will enter, but at the tail end that amount of water will be depreciated because of many reasons, whether evaporation, whether losses, or whether people taking more than their required share, which is called stealing or pilferage. So it's transit losses. Water application efficiency, it's the ratio of quantity of water stored in the root zone. मतलब you give water to your crop, so how much water gets to the root zone and how much water is lost in surface runoff or in evaporation or in mismanagement. So it is called application efficiency. It's the ratio of quantity of water stored in the root zone to the water delivered to the field or applied on the crop. And water storage efficiency. Water storage efficiency is the ratio of water stored in the root zone divided by water required in the root zone. So all these three formulas will be used in the coming questions. Let's discuss these questions. Question number Question number 1 is 1 cubic of water is pumped into a farm distribution system. 0.8 cubic is delivered to the outlet, to an outlet or to the field, which is 0.9 kilometers away. So 0.9 kilometers is a big distance. Compute the conveyance efficiency. So in a diagram form I have made this scenario. ये आपके पास कुआं है, यहाँ से ट्यूबवेल से suction is done and the water is then put into a channel or a water course and transported to about 1 kilometer away from this delivery point. So when the water reaches this the field, it will be in a depreciated amount, 0.8 cubics. 1 cubic was actually pumped into the channel system and 0.8 cubics was delivered to the field. So they are asking about finding conveyance efficiency or finding conveyance losses. So conveyance efficiency is water delivered to the field, water entering the channel at the start. So 0.8 divided by 1. No use of taking into play this 0.9 kilometer. 0.9 kilometer was just to give you an impression that it was the tail end was at a far away position. Right? So simply apply the formula. Quite explanatory. In this question is 10 cubics of water is delivered to the 2 hectare field for 4 hours. So 10 cubics water, 10 meter cube per second water is delivered to a patch of land which has got an area of 32 hectares. 10 cubics water is delivered to a 32 hectare field for 4 hours. Duration is 4 hours. Soil probing, soil investigation shows that 0.3 meter water has been stored in the root zone. So this I have also shown here in the diagram. 0.3 meter water stored in the 0.3 meter water depth stored in the root zone. 0.3 meter water. 0.3 meter water. That's why I've shown this depth in blue marker or in blue pen. So they are asking about finding water application efficiency. So water application efficiency is water stored in the root zone divided by water delivered to the field, right? So water stored in the root zone will be the depth of water stored in the root zone into area of the field. Now this calculation or this formula that has been modified here in this numerical is according to the situation. So water stored in the root zone, 0.3 meter water stored in the root zone multiplied by this whole area will give us the water stored in the root zone of the crop, because 0.3 meter is only for a unit patch, and for the whole area it will be 0.3 meter multiplied by whole area, and the denominator is water delivered to the field containing that crop. So we know that 10 cubic water is delivered for 4 hours, so 10 cubic is multiplied by 4 hours, and here we get the answer. This question is a bit tricky. I will be needing your attention here. A stream of 130 liter per second was diverted from a canal and 100 liter were delivered to the field. इस तरह एक नहर जा रही थी, उसमें से 130 लीटर पर सेकंड की डाइवर्जन दी गई, and that water at tail end was found to be 100 liter per second. This much water was delivered to the field. An area of 1.6 hectares. The area is 1.6 hectare was irrigated in 8 hours. 8 hours was irrigation duration. The depth of the root zone is 1.7 meter. अब ये जो depth है वो water depth है, अब ये सिर्फ root zone का depth है. 1.7 meter depth of root zone is shown. That's why मैंने इसको brown pen से show किया है. Previously मैंने यहाँ पे blue pen से show किया था because that was directly water amount. यहाँ पे कोई water amount की बात नहीं हो रही. Simple they are explaining the root zone. 1.7 meter depth is the depth of the root zone. Runoff losses are 420 meter cube. When you give water to this field, so over the surface there will be certain losses. पानी surface के ऊपर से भी गुजर के expel हो जाएगा, and these runoff losses are taken to be 420 meter cube. That's why I've shown them in blue color. Available water holding capacity of soil is 20 centimeter per meter. Yani soil has got an absorption capacity of 20 centimeter per meter. In 1 meter of soil, the soil will be able to absorb 20 centimeter water. If irrigation starts at 50% available moisture, if suppose before the irrigation started 50% moisture was already present in soil. That's why अगर आप यहाँ diagram पे सोचें वो देखें, I've mentioned that 50% moisture content was already present before irrigation. Bracket form में मैंने root zone के show किया है. Find conveyance efficiency, application efficiency, and storage efficiency. All the three factors have to be calculated. So water conveyance efficiency is water delivered to this field and water diverted. So 100 divided by 130. And application efficiency is water stored in the root zone divided by water delivered to the field. Water stored in the root zone will be water delivered to the field minus runoff. Right? तो इस पे सोच करें. अच्छा यहाँ पे देखें, ये 130 liter per second था, यहाँ पे 100 liter per second मिला, तो 100 divided by 130 will be conveyance losses. We didn't convert this liter by second into meter because there was no need for it, as the numerator and denominator both had the same reading. 100 liter divided by 130 ये आपके पास conveyance losses हो गए. और application losses जो है इसमें water delivered से runoff losses निकाले तो water stored in the root zone आ जाएगा. Divided by water delivered in the field required conversions कर लें. तो पहले मैंने rough form में लिखा है 100 liter per second into 8 hours because this much water is delivered for 8 hours to the field. Out of this, runoff losses is to be subtracted, divided by again 100 liter per second into 8 given for 8 hours to the field. So here let's do the requisite conversion. Liter per second को meter cube per second में convert किया गया है, hours को second में convert किया गया है, and the calculation has been done. Please take a paper and pen keep a paper and pen with you and you make this calculation by yourself. Okay, मैं जितना भी आपको समझाऊँ आपको समझ नहीं आएगा unless you do it by yourself. So application efficiency is determined. Water storage efficiency is water stored in the root zone divided by water required in the root zone. So once again, let me say that this formula has been taken as per numerical requirement. So water stored in the root zone is water stored in the root zone is water delivered to the field minus surface runoff. ये तो पिछले उसमें भी था, पार्ट में भी था. Water delivered minus surface runoff and water required in the root zone. This is a tricky portion. How much water is required in the root zone when we already know that there is 50% moisture already present and the soil has an absorption capacity of 20 centimeter per meter. So that's why मैंने इसको next slide पे किया है डिटेल में. So water required in the root zone is equal to water holding capacity of soil into depth of root zone. जो भी आपके पास depth of root zone है, that should be multiplied with the water holding capacity of soil, and 50% depreciation should be applied, and then this whole thing should be multiplied with the plot area. So 20 centimeter per meter of soil into 1.7 meter, this is soil absorption into root zone, minus 50% cut is applied. So 50% cut उस वक्त अप्लाई होगा जब आप उस 50% को इस होल के साथ मल्टीप्लाई करें, इस होल के साथ 50% को मल्टीप्लाई करें और माइनस करें इस होल से दोबारा, तो ये 50% कट अप्लाई हो जाएगा इनटू एरिया ऑफ द होल लैंड. तो एरिया ऑफ द होल लैंड के साथ मल्टीप्लाई करें, आपके पास ये आ जाएगा, ये जवाब आ जाएगा. तो लेट्स पुट दिस वैल्यू, दिस इज द डिनोमिनेटर. ये तो डिनोमिनेटर की कैलकुलेशन हमने की है, तो डिनोमिनेटर की कैलकुलेशन यहाँ पे लिखें और कैलकुलेशंस करें, सारे यूनिट कन्वर्जन्स कर लें जिस तरह आप करते आ रहे हैं. यू मस्ट बी नोइंग द यूनिट कन्वर्जन्स. ये आंसर आ गया आपके पास 0.9 है, या इन अदर वर्ड्स 90%. सो दैट्स द एंड ऑफ द टुडेज लेक्चर. इसमें ये 2-3 न्यूमेरिकल्स हैं और वाटर एफिशिएंसीज हैं, इनको प्रैक्टिस करें. एंड थैंक यू.